It starts like a movie. The constant texts, the endless praise, this overwhelming feeling that you finally met your soulmate. But lately, that intense affection is starting to feel less like a romance and more like a cage. If you've ever felt like a relationship was moving way too fast, you need to hear this. That whirlwind of passion might not be love. It might be the most dangerous red flag of them all. Love bombing. Being swept off your feet is intoxicating, but love bombing is often a calculated strategy of emotional manipulation. The term describes an attempt to influence you with completely over-the-top displays of attention and affection. While it feels incredible at first, it's often the first stage of what can become a deeply unhealthy, controlling relationship. So many people who go through this start to doubt themselves, feeling confused and even guilty. You might be thinking, am I just being ungrateful? Isn't this kind of attention what everyone wants? I want to validate those feelings and give you the clarity you need. We're going to break down exactly what love bombing is, why it happens, the signs to watch for that you just can't ignore, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself. So why does love bombing even happen? Is it just someone who's really into you? While genuine, new love can be intense, love bombing feels different. Its goal isn't connection, it's control. It's a deliberate psychological tactic used to gain power over you for their own benefit. Think of it as a kind of conditioning. The love bomber showers you with positive reinforcement, compliments, gifts, 24/7 attention, to create a powerful emotional bond, and they do it fast. This taps into that very human need we all have for validation and attachment, making you feel incredibly special and seen. But the real goal is to make you emotionally dependent on them. By creating this intense positive bubble, they make it much more likely you'll overlook their flaws and, later on, their much darker behaviors. This behavior is very commonly linked to individuals with narcissistic traits or narcissistic personality disorder (NPD). People with these tendencies often have a deep-seated fear of being unwanted and a fragile ego, which they hide behind a mask of self-importance. They use love bombing to get the praise and admiration they crave, which feeds that ego. They aren't trying to build a real, intimate partnership. They are trying to secure you as a source of validation. Once they feel like they have you locked down, the idealization phase ends, and a painful cycle of devaluation and control often begins. Understanding this isn't about you being foolish for falling for it. It's about realizing you were targeted by a sophisticated manipulation tactic. So how do you tell the difference between a genuine, head-over-heels romance and manipulative love bombing? Let's get into the 5 most common signs. This is the absolute hallmark of love bombing. The relationship goes from 0 to 100 in just days or weeks. This includes those excessive, almost theatrical compliments that feel just a little bit off. They're saying things like, "I've never met anyone like you," or "You're my soulmate" on the second date. They'll declare their love for you shockingly early, long before they could possibly know you on a deep, meaningful level. This also means constant communication. They're bombarding you with texts and calls, wanting to be in contact literally all the time. It might feel romantic for a minute, but it quickly becomes overwhelming. They push for fast commitment, talking about moving in or marriage at a speed that feels deeply unsettling. Real love and trust are built over time. If the pace feels breathless and you feel rushed into a level of intimacy that doesn't match the timeline, that is a massive red flag. A key goal for a love bomber is to become the absolute center of your world. And to do that, they have to cut you off from anyone who might offer a different perspective. This usually starts subtly. They might make you feel guilty for making plans with your friends or family. You'll mention you're going out with friends, and they'll sigh and say something like, "Oh, I was really hoping we could spend time together. I just miss you so much when you're not here." They might start criticizing your friends or family, planting little seeds of doubt about their loyalty or intentions. Before you know it, you find yourself turning down invitations just to avoid a fight with your partner. This creates a toxic us-against-the-world dynamic, which only makes you more dependent on them. A healthy partner will always encourage your relationships with other people. A manipulator sees them as competition for control. Love bombers are masters of the grand gesture. This can mean lavish, expensive gifts that feel completely out of proportion for how long you've known each other. It's not about generosity, it's about creating a sense of debt. When someone spends a ton of money on you or takes you on some whirlwind trip, it becomes much harder to criticize them or ask to slow things down. You start to feel like you owe them your affection and compliance. These gestures are designed to overwhelm you, to make the relationship feel like a movie. But real relationships are built on shared values and emotional connection, not the price tag on a gift. If you feel like their generosity comes with unspoken strings attached, you're probably right. Down the line, they will likely use these gifts as leverage, reminding you of everything they've done for you during an argument. This one is critical. A healthy partner respects your limits. A love bomber constantly pushes them. You might tell them you need a quiet night to yourself, and they show up at your door anyway. You might say you're not ready to talk about your past, and they push you to open up before you're comfortable. You could express that you want to slow down physically, and they'll use guilt to get their way, saying things like, "When I'm with you, I just can't control myself." When you do try to set a boundary, watch their reaction closely. Do they apologize and back off, or do they get defensive, pout, or try to make you feel guilty? A love bomber sees your boundaries not as a healthy expression of your needs, but as a personal rejection, and they will often just try harder to manipulate you into giving in. Love bombers are chameleons. At the start, it feels like you found your perfect match because they seem to love everything you love. They start mirroring your hobbies, your sense of humor, your values, even your unique life experiences. This is a tactic designed to create a false sense of a deep, instant, meant-to-be connection. Of course, it's normal to have things in common, but a love bomber takes this to an extreme. It feels less like you're getting to know a unique individual and more like you're meeting another version of yourself. It's a subtle way to blur your own sense of self and make them seem essential to your life. The problem is, that persona isn't real, and it isn't sustainable. Once they feel they have you, the mask slips, and you're left completely blindsided, wondering what happened to the person you fell for. This intense idealization is almost always followed by devaluation, where they start attacking the very things they once claimed to adore about you. If these signs are hitting a little too close to home, please hear me when I say, you are not alone, and this is not your fault. Recognizing these patterns is the first and most powerful step you can take. But what comes next? First, you have every right to slow things down. You get to set the pace. It's okay to say, I'm really enjoying getting to know you, but I need to take things a bit more slowly to feel comfortable. A secure person will hear that and respect it. A manipulator will likely get offended and push back. Next, you have to set and enforce your boundaries. I know this can be terrifying, especially if you're worried about how they'll react. Start small. If they text you nonstop, you don't have to answer right away. You can simply say, I can't text while I'm at work, but I'll call you tonight. If their reaction is anger or a guilt trip, that is not love, that is control. Stay connected to your people. Talk to friends and family you trust about what's going on. Getting an outside perspective is so important because love bombers are experts at creating a warped reality that makes you feel isolated. If the people who love you are expressing concern, listen. And finally, trust your gut. Your intuition is your built-in alarm system. If a relationship just feels overwhelming, suffocating, or off, listen to that feeling. You don't need a spreadsheet of proof to know that something isn't right for you. Healthy love should feel safe, respectful, and calm. It shouldn't sweep you up in a tornado of anxiety and obligation. So, let's quickly recap the biggest red flags. The relationship moves way too fast with intense promises about the future. They try to isolate you from your friends and family. They use over-the-top gifts to make you feel like you owe them. They constantly disrespect your boundaries. And they mirror you to create a fake soulmate connection. Recovering from love bombing can be incredibly hard. It can make you question your own judgment and wary of trusting anyone again. But healing is absolutely possible. It starts with seeing the tactic for what it is, a form of emotional abuse that is not a reflection of your worth. The best step for recovery is often to go no contact, which stops the cycle from repeating. Reconnect with the people and hobbies that made you feel like you before this person came along. Rebuilding your own sense of self is everything. You deserve a love that is built on trust, mutual respect, and a genuine intimacy that grows over time. You are worthy of a love that feels safe, not suffocating. If this video helped you, please give it a like and maybe share it with someone who needs to hear this. For more content on building healthy, authentic relationships, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.